Hey, Armor World, it's yours truly here. Wait, am I supposed to be OJ or Richie? Screw it. Okay, I want to start out by saying it was an honor to be tagged by Notorious J. From one bald white dude to another. I appreciate you, brother. But that's not all we have in common, though, is it, Johnny?
Would have been better if I ran. Ah, had to get out of the way.
No, we like to wreck our armas. One of these days, Jay, we're going to get to see what this LVC stuff is all about. Okay, since Johnny tagged me, I guess I need to introduce myself. My name is also John, but you might know me as John Dilly 1974. Difference is my grandparents couldn't afford the H. You see, I was named after my father, and he was born shortly after the Depression. Speaking of the Great Depression, what was that like, Ed? Yes, I am 45, as my screen name would suggest. I was born in 1974. I still act like I'm 15, though. I think having kids too early is a factor in that. I had my first boy when I was 18 years old. I have 3 children from a previous marriage, and my girlfriend has 2 previously as well, and so we have a total of 5 kids. And we now have a total of 5 grandkids. They take up a lot of our time, which is fine. We love them to death, but it doesn't leave a whole lot of time for bashing. We became empty nesters recently and converted this bedroom into the office you see here. Speaking of my girlfriend, we met in 2003, so we've been together for one too many. We live in Toledo, Ohio, which is about an hour south of Detroit and about 2 hours west of Cleveland. Think about that, sandwiched between the armpit and the butthole of America. Ew. Now about my hobbies and interests. I had a few toy grade RC cars when I was a kid, kind of like everybody else. They sucked. They ran on alkaline batteries, which you had to swap out every day, multiple times a day. Couldn't run them in water or mud or anything that would destroy them. Well, I still did. That's how I know that they get destroyed. But yeah, I mean, you break it and you're just like, fun's over. So I kind of lost interest, and that interest didn't carry through, to adulthood. So I kind of just lost touch with the RC world. And then I was at work one day, and some guy I worked with said, "Hey, I bought an RC car," and this kind of, reminded me how fun it was to have a car back then. And he brought me a Tower Hobbies catalog and said, "Here, this is the one you should get." And he pointed to a AFNA HODR 1/8 scale nitro buggy. I didn't know anything about it. He's like, "Yeah, this is what you should get. Here's all the parts, blah, blah, blah." I know what you're thinking. A nitro for your first hobby grade RC? Not a good idea. So I get all the stuff and I order it and I get it, and it takes me like a month to build the thing. I finally get it all done, put the fuel in the tank and pull the starter, and the damn thing revs like a bitch. Little did I know the throttle servo was in reverse instead of normal, which was floored instead of idle. And anybody that has ever worked with nitro cars knows that you got to break those motors in. You can't just rev them like that right off the bat. So of course blew the motor. Called Tower and explained what happened, and they're like, "Oh yeah, here, we'll send you a new motor." Well, I kind of had a bad taste in my mouth. It was kind of overwhelming, so I just kind of dropped it. And it sat in a box, I would say, for 20 years. And then probably about 8 years ago, I was having a garage sale, cleaning up the house, moving, and I said, "You know what, I'm just going to get rid of this thing. I'm never going to get, to using it. If I haven't used it in 20 years, might as well get rid of it." So I sold it in a garage sale, got like $50 for it. Pointless, but whatever. And then I had a coworker again recently that said, "Hey, I went out and bought this Traxxas car, and it's a lot of fun. You should think about getting one." And I said, "You know what? I tried that years ago, and I just don't want to deal with the nitro fuel or all the crap." He's like, oh, no, you got to try one of the new ones. You know, the new ones, they use LiPo batteries, and the LiPo batteries are way better. You don't have to worry about the gas and whatever. He goes, you just plug in a battery and they're fast as shit. You're going to love it. So I said, okay, let me look into it. So I looked around a bunch of places and ended up coming across, you know, the name Arma. And everybody's like, yeah, if you're getting a car today, you want an Arma. They're tougher, they're better, they're faster, whatever. So I went on Amazon and looked up, you know, a couple different Armas, and I settled on the Granite. And it was the Granite Mega 4x4, which is the red Mega. And yeah, I got it and had a lot of fun, and decided I'm going to buy a LiPo battery. Bought a 2S LiPo, stuck it in there. Man, that thing was pretty quick for about a week, and then, you know, it gets old. You know, you were like, oh, what's next? So, you know, a couple weeks later, I look again, and everybody's talking about, oh, there's a new Granite out, the orange one. And I was like, oh, is it faster? They're like, yeah, it takes 3S. It's faster. I'm like, oh, that's what I want. So, of course, I bought that one too, and that was fun for a while too, but just like anything, you know, you want something a little faster. So I started looking around, and they started making the 4S line, you know, the Outcast and the Creighton, and I was like, ooh, I wonder if I could just put the motor from that in my red Granite and turn that one into a 4S. So I bought all the parts I needed, and I turned that into a 4S Granite. Well, I was breaking stuff pretty quick, and it was hard to control. It just swerved all over the place. Just too much power for that short of a wheelbase and my driving skills. So I decided I'm going to stretch the wheelbase, make it into a Typhon. I kind of like the buggy look, and I, you know, reminded me of my Offno that I never really got to ran. So I decided to make the Granite a Typhon. And it runs a little bit better. Longer wheelbase makes it easier to control. I started doing speed runs, and got up to 74 miles an hour in one run shortly before it crashed and broke to all kinds of pieces, but it's okay. And I decided to change the Granite 3S to a Creighton 4S, so now that's stretched as well. Currently having some radio issues, but I'll be back at it. And then recently I bought a Typhon 6S from a member of the Arma forum. His name is Justin, and I'm doing kind of a special build on that right now. I don't want to disclose all the details, but it's going to be pretty cool. Stay tuned. Be coming and posting it on YouTube and the forum pretty soon. It's a surprise. Locally, I have a track here called Tarkar, and it's a pretty cool track. They have a dirt oval as well as just a regular off-road track, and it's got jumps and bumps and all that kinds of cool stuff. Only problem is it's in use almost all the time, and they have club races, you know, most nights, and then every weekend they have races. So it's kind of hard to find time to get in there, but I sometimes sneak off in the middle of the day and go run for a little bit until I break something, and yeah, it's pretty fun. And then I also have a couple of parks in the area that I like to go and run at. Homecoming Park is a popular one. It has a nice big parking lot, so I can get a nice run up. Has big, huge grass soccer fields with a bunch of berms and stuff, so you can jump off of those, and has some dirt patches, so it's really hard to find dirt around here. Everything's grass or weeds, so it's hard to find dirt. So they have a nice spot there with some dirt, so I like to run over there. I found that I can break my rigs just about anywhere. I recently bought a Mavic Pro, or as I call it, a Flying GoPro. This thing has autopilot mode, so it should be kind of hard to crash. I'm sure I'll figure it out though. Yeah, right. Now, as you can see from my jersey, I'm a football fan, and my teams are the Chicago Bears and the Michigan Wolverines. This means I fucking hate the Packers and the Buckeyes. Bear down, go blue. I'm fortunate enough to be self-employed. I have my own small business that I run, and it's primarily small business IT services, but I also install security cameras. I found that as the IT world became more self-managed, you know, you can Google any problem that you have. People fix stuff on their own. I wasn't quite as busy, so I had to find something else, some other niche market to get into, and IP cameras were becoming, less expensive and people were really interested in it. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna focus on this for a little bit. So that's the primary part of my business today, is installing surveillance systems. I also bought a 3D printer, which I've used to make a little pig. I'm kind of a late bloomer when it comes to the YouTube scene. I've always known what YouTube is. As a tech person, I know about YouTube, but I didn't really get into it until kind of recently, and found a couple channels that I really do like. One of them is Hot Ones. Another one is Mr. Beast. I think it's pretty cool how they give away stuff, and it's pretty entertaining. And then the other one's the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. Those are the three that I watch the most. I also use it to watch clips of shows that I don't have time to watch the whole episode, like The Daily Show or TYT or sports-oriented shows. Hey, what's going on, everybody? For Armor Form, I'm John Dilly, and this is How to Crash Your Basher. It's the show where the J's show you how to destroy your Arma in 30 seconds or less. If you don't get the reference, see the link in the description below. Okay, guys, now that we have that out of the way, it's time for nominations. And the first person I'm going to tag is SRC. And the reason why I'm tagging you is because you were nominated for the Arma Forum Excellence Award at the same time I was. And I really don't know your name. Mr. SRC, come on down. You're the next contestant. My second nomination is Glock 21 user. And the reason why I chose you was because you invited me to come and bash at your house and come shoot some guns, have some fun. And I'm tagging you because I need to know if you're crazy or not before I make the trip. And for my final nomination, I'm choosing the leader of the band, the head honcho, the man behind the curtain, Woody. Now, Woody, Mike, the reason why I'm tagging you is because I wouldn't be here doing this right now if it wasn't for you. Okay, guys, so that's it. Those are my three nominations, and I hope you guys come through and do your own tagging video of your own. All right, don't forget to like, subscribe, and thumbs up. Thumbs down if you suck, right?